Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat, and today is now time for a brand new Last Man Standing tutorial. I'm going to show you exactly what it is I'm doing. Now, I've waited until I got to Arena 25. Arena 25 is when you really want to start kind of picking up the slack a bit, because the points are worth so much more on Arena 25 than they are from Arenas 1 through 20. So let me just go ahead and show you my deck first of all. You will notice that I have 4 male left arrows and 4 male right arrows, and for females I've got 2 left arrows and 2 right arrows. Now these cards are not all left and right arrows. What I have done here is I've used equipment to try and make these as balanced as possible. So for example, our Jordan Grace is typically an up arrow, but you can see here that I'm using this SummerSlam 23 athletic tape right to force her to become a right arrow instead, which means that she will either tag with one of the 2 left arrows, or there won't be any negative percentage if she tags with Stephanie Vacour. And I've done the exact same thing with all of the left and right arrows, which means that there's never going to be a right arrow and an up arrow that will give a negative percentage. So it means that your tag matches are always going to help out. They're either going to be at cost of 0, or they're going to get the bonus from tagging together being a left and right arrow. Now, a lot of my left arrows are my strongest cards. Seth Rollins here, he currently had 0 matches, so I've put some equipment on him and I've given him momentum just to get him strong enough so that he can get into the top 8 slot. Our Fortified 1 Tommaso Ciampa is generally a down arrow, and once again, I'm using a right arrow equipment to force him to become a right arrow. And the same with our Big Van Vader. He is generally an up arrow, I believe, and we've used the athletic right tape to turn him into a right arrow. So our Karrion Kross, Tyrese Halliburton, Ethan Page, and Undertaker are all generically left arrows. Our Seth Rollins and our John Cena are generically right arrows, and we're forcing Tommaso Ciampa and Vader to become right arrows. And the same with these here. Our left arrows are Alexa Bliss and Io Sky. Our right arrows are Stephanie Vacour. And of course, we're forcing Jordan Grace from an up arrow into a right arrow. So setting up your deck is the most important thing, first of all. Unfortunately, supports you can't change. There is a tactic you can use, but if you want to use the specific supports that you want, what you have to do is you have to delete the ones that you don't want. And quite frankly, I don't really want to do that, because that would mean I would have to delete my Zelina Vega manager. Ideally, what I prefer is to swap it out to something that uses 2 stats, such as power and charisma, that would tag nicely with my Undisputed Championship, which gives power to toughness and speed. That would be the most ideal thing, but unfortunately beggars can't be choosers, and we're just going to have to work with what we've got. Now, when we get to Arena 25, we are still only allowed to use 1 block and 1 reveal. It's really tempting to use a reveal right at the beginning just to get rid of as many obstacles as possible, but what you want to do is you want to play that first game and see if you can get lucky enough to get the 4 in 25 chance of hitting an obstacle. You want to hit an obstacle because you're going to have more than enough of these little hearts to win the rest of the things. And what you want to try and do is you want to try and get the maximum possible score. Now, if you want to go for the actual maximum score, you would use one of these ×4 multipliers, but we're not going for trying to get a JC Mateo in the top 50 or the top 10. We're just trying to stay in the top 10,000. And as you can see, I'm currently ranked 3,374. So that is quite fine and quite happy with me. Top 5,000 would be absolutely fantastic, but I'd be more than happy to get something in the likes of the 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 range, just so long as I get a JC Mateo, just so I can get the image and also get a brand new wrestler. That's what I'm going for. So if you are going for a high range one, these are the things that other people are going to be using to try and get into those high tier marks. It's going to be very, very expensive for you, but if you are using those, then it's still best to listen to these tactics. So what we're going to do is we are going to play a random game. We're going to go ahead and just strike this one here. Unfortunately, we did not get the obstacle. I was hoping that we would. The first one is speed, so we're going to use our Elixir Bliss here, and we barely win. Now, if you are going to lose, what you can do is you can actually exit out the game, and so long as you haven't completed the match, it won't count it. So let's go ahead and we'll pick Press Our Luck. We're going to do that for the maximum amount. So now we're going to go ahead and use our reveal. That's going to reveal 3 of them. We still have 1 more obstacle, so we're going to activate our block. Now, we're going to try not to lose any games, and we're just going to use the Push Your Luck for the entire run of this. So we'll just start working our way across. And just always check, make sure that you are going to win each game. And each time we're going to press our luck, because now the streak bonus is a ×3 multiplier, so we're going to get 75 points, and that's just going to increase and increase as much as we possibly can. Next one is Power and Charisma. So we have 3 right arrows and 1 left arrow, so we don't want to use Carrying Cross, we want to keep him for a tag match, and let's go ahead and use Big Van Vader, because his speed is only 47,000, which can be a problem. But thankfully he has massive power, and that helps out with that. So let's continue to press our luck. We're at ×4 multiplier now. Next one is going to be Toughness and Charisma, which we are going to go ahead and use Tommaso Ciampa. And we win that one easily. And we're going to press luck once again. We're just going to keep pressing the luck throughout the entire thing, and you're going to see how many points we get by the end of it. If you want, you can, at this point, just skip ahead in the video to the end to see how many points that we do get. But if you want to see the continued just playing of each single game, by all means, I welcome the views, and also you're keeping me company. And then, of course, 1 big power for Carrying Cross against Drew McIntyre. More than enough for us to win there with the Cross Jacket. Okay, so we have 3 left arrows and 1 right arrow, so we don't want to use Big Match John Cena. Let's go ahead and use Ethan Page instead. And you can see we're up to 700 points, and we're still on the 2nd row. For this one, we're going to use... I think we're going to use Jordan Grace here, because I don't feel confident on that one, with her only having 55,000 in Charisma. Okay, so now we have lost our blocker, which means that if we're going to lose a game, we need to drop out and go back in. And if we drop out and go back in, it still makes you do the match, but you can then use your super move before the match begins, and that's how you can win a match that you're going to lose. So this one, I think I'm going to go ahead and use the microphone here just to make sure, because I'm a little bit concerned about our charisma. It didn't need to be. We were more than sufficient. But that is what I use the supports on, the equipment, the managers. Next up is power and speed. So I think we're going to use Undertaker because he's got 74,000 in power, which should be more than enough to make up for his speed. Then a tag team of toughness. I think these two should be fine. 67,000 and 55,000 tagging together. And you can see that Carrying Cross and Aleister Black are going to get the -5% to all stats because those arrows don't work together. It's a left and down arrow. Let's go ahead and continue pressing our luck. Okay, tag team, and it's of power. So I am quite confident that these two will be able to win that. Yeah, we are more than efficient for that one. You can see we're up to 325 points per win already. Okay, next one's power and charisma. So we have 2 left arrows and 2 right arrows, which is perfect. That's wonderful. So let's go ahead and use Ethan Page here. And even with those bonus stats, we are more than powerful enough. We're going to continue to press our luck. Now it's a tag team, so we want to use our Carrying Cross along with someone. And I think I'm going to go with Tommaso Ciampa because his speed is only 55,000. And if we get a speed, that's going to be a little bit problem for the next match. So always think the next match ahead. And let's continue to press our luck. You can see that we are down to the bottom 2 rows now. Speed and Charisma are perfectly fine for Seth Rollins. He's got 89,000 in speed, thanks to the equipment we have on him. And we're now up to 3,000 points. Now this one's power and charisma, so I'm going to use the microphone and we're going to use this on Alexa Bliss. And yeah, we're more than sufficient for winning this. Now Jordynne Grace will easily be able to win her match. Okay, for power, we're going to put in Vader. We've got 2 left and 2 right arrows, but Vader with his 74,000 power is more than efficient for taking out any opponent's cards. We're going to press our luck once more. And then 69,000 with charisma. Our Jordynne Grace should be fine. And we're up to 475 points per win now. It's going to be a tag team of speed. So we're going to leave out Undertaker. We're going to use Tyrese here and John Cena. And we should be fine. We're down to the last 2 matches. Power with Undertaker is perfect because 78,000 after the Tombstone Pile Driver. And our final match, you can see, is worth 525 points. And it's a tag team match, so we might as well use our little support here. And we'll just go with the 2 strongest ones. So Carrying Cross and Tommaso Ciampa that tag with each other are left and right arrow just to guarantee the win. There you see 94,000, 88,000. And despite the ring being on fire, Tommaso Ciampa still ran outside and got the title. And there you see, I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that. That's probably going to be the thumbnail. That we managed to get 773 points from completing the arena, but our unbalanced streak was 5,775, giving us a final result of 6,548 is what it is. Now, bear in mind that that was all done without any credits, without any point doublers or point quadruplers. And of course, if you're using point quadruplers, you would get 4 times that amount. So instead of getting the unbalanced 5,000, you would have 20,000 in addition. So you can see that if you are trying to get a high score, this is the best way to go around it. And let's go ahead and proceed. We get our little packs. And there you can see we went up to 3,443. Although sometimes it does take just a little bit of time for that to readjust itself. So sometimes you'll wonder why you haven't increased, but you actually have increased in stats in your ranking. It just takes a little while for it to update itself properly. So you can still see there's still 4 obstacles on Arena 26. When you get to 5 obstacles, what you want to do is you want to play the game until you hit an obstacle. Then once you hit an obstacle, you use the reveal and then you use the block and then you just continue the same method. When you get to 6 obstacles, you need to play until you hit 2 obstacles, then do the same thing, and this will continue. You will eventually get to a point where there's more obstacles than your reveal, your block, and your 4 lives can take care of. But then after that point, you will then be allowed to use 2 blocks and 2 reveals on each one, which means that getting your reveals and blocks is going to be even harder, which, well, they'll be used up a lot faster. But you can still get your reveals and blocks by simply going into your free pack, and your free pack is going to give you 1 block and 1 reveal every single time. So once this resets itself in 2.5 hours, I'll be able to click one for free, and then I'll be able to watch an ad to get a second one for free, and we'll be able to get them that way. And do remember that this is not a sprint. It is a grind. There is still 3 days and 3 hours left. So although I'm sitting quite happily at rank 3,443 at this point, that does not necessarily mean that I'll still be there in 3 days' time. So don't go burning yourself out. Don't go trying to get yourself up to number 1 and then fall asleep for 9 hours and then you wake up and you're suddenly at rank 5,000. So remember to pace yourself. Just play. I mean, I recommend playing all of these PvPs casually, because the unfortunate truth is there are people out there who are using speed hacks, who are using devices that just let them play the game automatically for them. Even if it doesn't complete the arena, it will still get them points, and using things like that. There's also people out there who will just be using a lot of credits to get those ×4 multipliers. They'll just have a tremendous advantage over people playing the game casually. But if you play the game casually, you can see I'm still sitting in the top 3,000, well, top 4,000 I suppose, top 3,500 at the moment without spending any money whatsoever on Last Man Standing. So it is possible to play Last Man Standing for free, like I'm doing, and still get a decent card. The other thing is the Superstore has now finally rolled over, and you can see that the 2 Money in the Bank cards are Seth freaking Rollins, who won the men's Money in the Bank, and Naomi, who won the women's Money in the Bank, which is exactly as I predicted. And I haven't bought them yet, but I'll probably buy them after Last Man Standing, because we're currently at 490 of our 500 spaces, and I want to try and keep those spaces for playing through Last Man Standing, because of course it does give you a lot of draft picks, and once those draft picks run out, you have to go back, you have to get rid of them all, then you have to dust all of them to make space, and it's a real pain, but that's where we're at. So that is my tactic for playing Last Man Standing. If you ever see this come up, that's it, just making sure that you're not a bot and making sure that you are a human. It generally does that if you get a lot of points, like we just did. Just making sure that you are a human that's actually doing an actual tactic, and that you're not some bot that is, you know, just cycling out points in whatever manner or whatever way. So with that said, folks, that is going to be it for this little video, and I really hope you've all enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so that you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.